bolt down and it like doesn't twist. But it took a while, and I started spinning it the wrong way at first. So.
All right, fellas, it is week 11 now, which means only 4 more weeks. Apparently, what better week than to bring trades back? Because there were no trades for over 2 months, and now there's 2 trades in the same week. So that's pretty fun, exciting stuff.
I open my Sleeper app every week now. I'm just like, is it over yet? But it's not. However, I'm looking at this week as my championship week. So if I come out and get that victory against Chabot, I'm claiming championship.
Yeah, hanging the banner.
Yeah, hanging the banner. 2024, week 11. Huddle Buddies champion.
But yeah, me and Colt got it started with a little toe in the water. Kevin and Chase came out swinging with the big names.
Yeah, that was it was about a day and a half worth of back and forth between me and Chase. Kind of went back and forth and ended up on Kyler Murray and Zay Flowers as the 2 figureheads of the trade. And yeah, I think hopefully everyone's happy between me and Chase after this week. Obviously, I hope all the players I sent them do terrible this week. They can start doing good next week.
Also, a pretty fun thing to know is Kyler Murray started on Chase's team. I think he went through me to Colt to you, and now he's back to Chase. So he's just coming back home. Pretty excited to get back into trades. Another reminder, no trade deadline. So we can just keep them going, fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep shooting them out there. See what happens.
Yeah. But jumping into last week's games, quite a difference in every single game. Every single winner got the median win, 2-0 victory, 0-2 losses, which means median really didn't play any part of it. It's the exact same as a normal league. Me versus Miller. Miller with the name change did not get the name change buff there. Had a 80-point game to my 149, so not super close for him, and not a great welcome to the city of Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to bully him that hard. I think you could have scored 30 less points and still kind of made your point.
Amir took a gamble this week, and the house won, so.
As
nice.
It normally does.
Yep.
I'm the house.
Yeah.
Then we had Chris versus Chase, which is normally a close game, but again, separated by a massive difference, 111 to 75. Chase not feeling great without a quarterback, which is why I went and got one.
We've talked about it quite a bit this season. Both of these teams, on paper, we expect more from what they've achieved. Chris, I guess to his credit, is he's pulling the wins out. They're not always pretty, but he is stacking those dubs. I think both these teams are consistently underperforming from what we would expect. We see glimpses of it every now and then, but not the consistency we would expect.
I was the number 1 Patrick Mahomes hater in this league. I will say the stack for the Chiefs have been doing some work for Chris as of late. I do wonder if he's worried about Pacheco coming back.
Well, the good news for him is he has Pacheco, so.
Oh, yeah.
It's true, yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Did he ever start Mark Andrews yet, or is he still just refusing to do that?
That's what I was going to bring up, was he's been known as the 2 tight end guy, and he hasn't done it once. Early in the year, kind of made sense, but Mark Andrews has been catching fire, and I feel like.
Just checked his lineup for this week. Mark Andrews is in there.
Ooh, there you go.
Back.
The big tight end lover in this league.
Then we had the roommate showdown there between you two, and not a close game again. 112 to 73 there.
You know what? I know what my floor is. It's 73 to 75. that is my floor. If you don't beat that, you're losing to me. That's a guarantee.
Any tense situations there in the house after that one?
No.
No, I think with the way it started, the Thursday night game, Lamar doing his thing, I think Jacob was kind of already in the mindset that this was a long shot. And I think it helped. We were out of town last weekend. We weren't able to, do our normal sit on the couch, watch games next to each other. So it kind of helped.
Yeah.
Actually, I went home on Sunday and Jacob stayed in Ohio. So we actually were separated.
Yeah.
Smart. Healthy.
Yep, it was. You don't want those tensions brewing right next to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex versus Colt. Boy, oh boy, that Georgia showdown was 56 to 131. So Colt still getting up there in the 130s every now and then, and Alex getting down there in the 50s every now and then.
It's not what Alex wants to see. He's got a lot of boomer bust players, and sometimes they all bust together.
Yeah. I'm curious if we're going to see actually, sorry, pause. Nice.
Game of the week, which we're known for, was a 34-point difference. So not super close, but the closest game of the week. So we still nailed it. 128.94. Garrett having a hard time keeping above 110 like he was earlier, and Aaron back up in the 120s. So that was one of those important games there in the middle and moved some stuff around. Aaron got to separate himself a little bit more from that 4 through 8 area.
Still right there with him. I'm half a game back on Aaron, but every time I win, he wins. So it really screws me up.
Yep. Speaking of the standings, you do still have me, Aaron, and Kevin staying strong. And then those 4 through 8, whoever moved up the previous week moved down this week and vice versa. So we had Chris and Colt moving up to 4th and 5th, and then Miller, Chase, and Garrett all moving down.
That's all I gotta talk about. Nothing else.
And then Alex in last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 4 through 8 is absolutely ridiculous how close it is. It's very entertaining. Any week, it can literally flip upside down. Like, just...
And everyone's a half game apart from the person above them right now.
Yeah.
All the way, like, from 2 through 8.
It's going to be a fun end to the season.
I'm pretty excited. Usually, like we've said before, usually it's like, 2 or 3 teams fighting for that last spot. But right now, literally outside of Bo, everyone's in play for the playoffs. Well, 2 through 8 is in play for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have 2 bad weeks back to back right now, you pretty much kill your season.
But what if you have 6 back to back to back to back to back to back to back?
Um,
I have an idea of how I want to start this. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out the wording. All right, fellas, it's time to experience that pucker factor this week. We're going back in time a little bit, but we're going to try out a new flavor of some Warheads soda. This one is watermelon. I think I have one more flavor left on these. Ooh. That's a good pucker factor right there. Good overall flavor drink. Not really any better than the others. Right in the same spot. Just go back to those weeks, see where I rated them. That's where I rate this one. Go out there to your local Amazon and get one of these again.
Jumping into this week's games, we'll kick it off with me versus Jacob. Number 1 versus number 9. Not a lot of movement probably coming after this game. An Elder matchup, not like the past.
No.
Back-to-back Elder games for you, Jake.
Yeah. Normally I can squeak together a couple Elder wins, but it's not looking very promising this year for me at all. And I think I actually have the most Elder matchups this season compared to every other season. I was hoping to ride the coattails of some Jaylen Warren this week. However, Jaylen Warren has a back issue right now, so might have to swap him out. Was hoping that Jaden Daniels would have come out Thursday. Could have been a lot worse though, because he did have 7 with 30 seconds left in the game. At least it's not over yet, but it's not looking promising because Saquon Barkley also decided to score 2 touchdowns within 20 seconds.
I was going to say, it's kind of funny that we both have running backs with back issues. Jaylen Warren with his injury and Saquon carrying my team.
Yep.
I have not been a fan of Thursday night games. Having Thursday night players on my team, it always looked bad. And these back-to-back weeks with Jamar Chase and Saquon is making me change my mind. I want to play on Thursday. Then we have Chris Dastrophe versus Hungry Hush Puppies. It's looking like a pretty solid game. Aaron currently in that number 2 spot, and Chris climbing his way up. So Aaron could fall out of the bye week, and Chris is fighting in that middle, trying to stay in the playoffs.
If I'm Chris, I'm kind of excited about this week because it's the Chiefs versus Bills. Historically, those 2 teams like to just score a lot of touchdowns against each other. It might be a game where Patrick Mahomes has to be old Patrick Mahomes.
He's hoping for an old Patrick Mahomes, and he's going with his old 2 tight end strategy like you mentioned earlier. So he's trying to throw it back against Aaron.
Yeah, he's just bringing it back to his championship case.
Chris being in the middle, trying to get into the playoffs, he's only 1 week away from Aaron, so he could be also fighting for that bye week.
Yeah, this game actually probably has some implications against me too, because I am the sandwich in between them in the standings. So I think I'm rooting for Chris. I think Chris wins, I win, and then I just get the second, and then I think that's the way it should hope. That's what I'm hoping for.
You can easily end up 2nd, 3rd, or 4th after this week.
Yeah, it could be all over the place. That's the charm of what we've got going on in the fun zone right now.
Yeah. Speaking of your game, you versus Chase, like you said, it's got some implications. You're right there in 3rd, and Chase is right there in the 4th through 8 area. Also, right after the trade.
No Kyler Murray for this week for Chase. Like you said, this is the Kyler bye week. But I think everyone else involved in the trade is in the lineups as of recording this. So Dalton Schultz, Zay Flowers, DJ, and Freiermuth looking to put up some fireworks, hopefully for me and not Chase. But no, I think it should be a good game. Me and Chase usually have some pretty close affairs. If you can remember back in week 1, it was a close game, and then McCaffrey didn't play for the next 10 games. So McCaffrey's here this time, Chase. Don't voodoo magic him again, please.
I think this would be a fun scenario. And tell me no, Kevin, if you don't agree with it. But you should start Bryce Young to really just solidify the Caleb Williams, Bryce Young rivalry of like that whole trade the Panthers did. Just see who's better.
It's Bryce. And that's not even saying much. Bryce isn't very good, but I am the number 1 Caleb Williams hater. But no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, with Kyler being out, he is going with Caleb Williams, so he's got that stack with his newly acquired DJ Moore. So if he can get some kind of steam going on the Bears, that can come back to haunt you a little bit.
I definitely didn't want to get rid of DJ. Obviously, former Panther, big fan. But sometimes you gotta shake things up when you want to go after someone like Zay Flowers or to get trades done. So all the best for DJ, just not this week. Next week.
Then we have Garrett versus Colts, the Magic School Bucks and the Grillers. Middle matchup there. They are moving around each other every other week. Again, within 1 week of each other. And the Grilling on the line.
Eckler continuing to be pretty solid. So good start for Garrett there. And then Ertz also benefit off of the same last-second drive.
Yeah, Garrett definitely has a good vibes going into the weekend after the Thursday night game. Always fun when you start 2 players and they both scored 15 plus. So Colt started McLaurin. He was in the fucking shadow realm this week. He did not do anything. Not great vibes for Colt going into the weekend.
Who's playing Philadelphia this week?
What?
Colt having a 1-pointer and a 13 points on his bench because he didn't start Brian Robinson.
Yeah, Colt, what the hell is that? He's been like one of the most consistent running backs on the season, and you're like, yeah, that would do.
That's that 50 fab he dropped on Jawan Jennings, making him feel like he's got to get his money's worth out of him.
And Jawan Jennings might go off this week, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if it was the wrong decision or not.
Yeah.
In the game of the week, Dream Rotation versus the Sin City Slots. Quite the showdown going. Miller with his name change there, not looking hot last week, and currently projected less than Alex. So not looking great in Vegas as of right now.
But as Jacob alluded to earlier, this is a Chiefs-Bills game, so it should be a good week for Josh Allen historically. But if Josh doesn't show up, I'm worried for Miller.
Yeah, and like normally that is the case for his team in previous years, but his team's been pretty supporting cast a little bit better this year.
He also has James Conner on bye, and that is making his team ugly. Looking at running backs, he's starting Tajay Spears and Ray Davis. That is quite the pill to swallow for him this week.
Hey, last time he started Ray Davis, though, it worked out, so
that's true.
Maybe
that's true.
And it's the stack with Josh Allen, so that's what he's going to need. Potentially lining up to be the lowest game of the week we've had.
Yeah, but everything could change. Everyone's teams could pop off. We've seen Alex's team, some of his players pop off, just not usually in the same week together. But if they ever do, it's scary.
Yeah.
It would be so upsetting for Miller if they're projected both under 90 right now, and Miller scores 125, and it's also the week that Alex scores 130.
Yep.
But that would be quite the game of the week. So rooting for it. Not for you to lose, Miller, just rooting for high scores. Don't yell at me after the episode. I'm rooting for a good game, all right? We made it the game of the week. Be happy you're in Vegas, all right? But yeah, that's all we got for this week. Again, only 4 more weeks left, and a lot of movement going to be happening those 4 weeks. So it's going to be an exciting end here.
Yeah. I'll be very excited for it to end.
Yeah, can you open your throat and just swallow it and oh, okay.
You know this. I was hospitalized